Okay, here we are at the Web 2.0 Expo in San Francisco, and with me I have Brian Solis of FutureWorks and blogger extraordinaire, PR2 and Bubblicious. So Brian, we were just talking about all these conferences you're involved with. In fact, this week really is sort of a social media, new media, Web 2.0 convergence in California, right?
Yes, sir.
We have SMX over in Long Beach, and then we have NewCon Forum, or SNCR, I guess, in Sonoma.
Yep.
Yeah, and then here in San Francisco we have the Web 2.0 conference. So I'm kind of curious about technology and communications. Over at SNCR, you know, there's a lot of communications professionals talking about new media, social media, that sort of thing. And of course here we have a lot of technologists talking about the same kinds of things. Which drives which? What's your take on that?
Well, you know, it's really interesting because you captured it perfectly. I mean, it's a collision between technology and communications. And if anything, it's technology slamming into communications and all of us trying to figure out what just hit us. There is an interesting set of caravans taking place between Sonoma and San Francisco where communications professionals are shuttling between both, trying to just amass as much information as possible. They're all like human sponges, and it's because there's just so much to learn. There's so much going on here. I mean, Web 2 it's the epitome of all of the hottest, coolest, shiny objects, tools, and networks from social media to enterprise 2.0, but it all affects us as communications professionals, as marketers, as even business professionals, as the social graph is now only enhanced and like streamlined through all this stuff. At least it's supposed to be. Yeah. But what's taking place in Sonoma is the NewCon Forum, where a lot of people are learning about all of this stuff and how it applies to them in their daily roles and how they could use it to make their brands, you know, better citizens within society, right? It's about bringing those people out of the company and also helping them, so I guess, engage and participate a little bit more as people and helping people and becoming more of a resource. So I think what we're seeing in terms of the collision is that technology is forcing not just communications, it's forcing all of media, and it's causing us to evolve in a way that's making us better communications professionals because we're actually communicating with people and not at them, which is what all of this is about.
Right. You know, there's a session earlier today where you were on the panel, a short attention spans, whatever.
Yes.
Which I kind of characterize as ADD for the Web 2.0 world, microblogging and micromedia. And that was kind of an interesting thing, to open up a channel so audience members could actually post a message and it would appear up on the screen.
Yes. And
actually sort of drive and guide and even entertain the presentations, really, in a way. So, you know, what out of that, do you think that was a productive session? What did you think about that?
Well, so there's a lot to talk about here, and I'll be as brief as possible. I think why it was called short attention span theater is because you saw it right there in action. You know, that conversation just went everywhere, but it was good. It was like a fire hose and nobody was manning it, but everybody got wet and it felt great. It was.
Oh, that's great.
It was. There's a lot to understand there, and you couldn't necessarily do it in 45 minutes, which is why I went over. But it was still valuable. People got to interact. I think, you know, monitoring sort of the back channel, there was a lot of people asking relevant questions, and we actually addressed them in real time. So I do think that there was a lot of value that was obtained from that session.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting about that was, and I blogged about this, and that is, you know, initially people were interacting just within that room, but because their followers saw, you know, new media or web, micromedia too, and they started looking and following what, you know, other people, going to TweetScan or something and seeing what people were saying, and were really entertained. And so what was amazing is the impact of what was happening in that room was really felt in other countries, in other cities and states, and it happened in real time. And I thought, wow, of anything else, that was powerful.
That was, I can't even say it better than that, Lee. I mean, that was exactly, that conversation just took place all over the world. And it was about helping people understand that micromedia is much more than, hey, I'm having a sandwich, or I'm walking down the street in San Francisco. I mean, there was a lot of really great dialogue on the way businesses can use Twitter or micromedia to sort of help their customers or their users or anyone who's related to the brand somehow, some way, get more information and more value out of the relationship. And the one thing about the whole short attention span theater and the tool that we actually developed, Greg Narain developed that tool, was specifically to expose the back channel so that we can involve the audience, just like what Micromedia is supposed to do with, say, companies or anybody who's interested in the conversation. So what we were, right before the event, the whole Web 2 thing started, the guys who helped put together the conversation for O'Reilly got us together to talk about Conference 2.0, and it was all about this: how do we get people more involved in the panels and the sessions? And so we took the challenge on and developed this application where people were actually part of it, and I think I would hope that people got a lot out of it for it.
I think they did. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Thanks, Lee.